Good day, this is group number 8 and I am Ray Florentino Con the CICM. Today we are going to discuss about some effective tools in conducting research. As we all know, we are in a situation where the coronavirus pandemic has shocked and affected the whole world. Nowadays, due to fear and anxiety, people are forced to be apart from each other and maintain social distancing. Given this, the crisis as it did affected almost everything, including the line of research. The question is, given the social distancing norms, is it the end of research? Is it the end of data gathering? The answer is no. The good news is, with the advancements of technologies nowadays, we can still continue with the pursuit of knowledge. So to begin, I am calling Brother Romeo Sani to begin our presentation, which will revolve around conducting research in the time of pandemic. Brother Romeo will be talking about online survey as an effective tool for qualitative research.
Thank you, Brother Ray. Hello, everyone. My name is Romeo Sani, CICM, and I'm going to discuss and to share with you about the use of online survey as a tool to continue doing research in a pandemic time. And as we all know, a time of pandemic occurs along with several problems in all the aspects of life. Nevertheless, this cannot prevent researchers from continuing doing research. And given that the pandemic time cannot allow people to meet easily, therefore, researchers need to use some tools so as to continue doing research. And indeed, among the tools, we have online survey. So now, allow me to share with you the definition of an online survey. So by definition, what is an online survey? An online survey is a structured questionnaire that a given target audience completes over the internet, generally through a filling out the form. It is a data collection where a set of survey questions is sent out to a target sample, and the members of this sample can respond to the questions over the World Wide Web. And what we can understand here is that using online survey during pandemic helps researchers continuing their research. It proceeds by sending a list of questions for any kind of a given subject of research to the participants, involving them to answer to the question asked. Thanks to those answers, researchers can thus collect necessary data for their research, and they can then come up with the results of their research. So now let us see some examples of tools where online survey can be used. And as example, we have email. We can do research by using online survey through email, which is a platform of exchanging messages between people using electronic devices. We can create a website or a web page for our research using online survey. We can also do it through the social media, and especially Twitter, which is really a respectful kind of social media, respecting the confidentiality of the participants. So those are just some examples of of tools when we can use online survey. So concretely, how can the online survey be used for research, or how can it be an effective tool for continuing doing research during a pandemic time? As we know, an essential objective of research is to collect accurate data. And because of that, online survey can be used to collect data from people throughout the world. And during this time of pandemic, people cannot meet face to face. This is a real challenge of any kind of pandemic. Thus, with online survey, they can easily answer to the questions provided in a web page and help researchers collect data and uh, come up with the results of their data. This is the importance of using online survey during a time of pandemic. So let us now see a kind of research whose researchers use the online survey to come up with their results. And as example, we have this article. which is entitled A Question of Equality and Choice, Same-Sex Couples' Attitudes Towards Civil Partnership After the Introduction of Same-Sex Marriage. This is a title of research, and researchers, which is written by Adam Jowett and Elizabeth Peel. Researchers wanted to know more about this question, and they used online survey to come up with the results of their research. And as a result, as we can read, they conclude by discussing how the principle of formal equality underpinned opinions on all sides and what implications this might have for how we understand discrimination. This is somehow a conclusion of the research, and we can already see that using online survey during a time of pandemic is really helpful. So now let us see other advantages of using online survey, some concrete advantages of using online survey during a time of pandemic. First of all, using uh, the online survey during pandemic is faster. So online survey uses a shorter time. It is also cheaper because it reduces the research cost. Online survey is more accurate, quick to analyze, easy to use for both participants and researchers. As we know, during a time of pandemic, when people cannot go out, so you have your device in your home and you can access whenever you want and wherever you want to do your research. That said, thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Robert Lusada from God's Missionaries. I was assigned to report about an article which considered as one important research. First was an article definition can be defined as is a piece of writing that is published in newspapers or magazines. It as an article can be as short as a paragraph or two or as long as several dozen pages. Articles can address any topic that the author of decides to explore and can reflect opinion, news research, reviews, instruction, nearly in focus. It is appear in newspapers, magazines, trade publication, journals, and even in books. Because of their relative brevity, articles typically are used to provide up to the date information on a wide variety of topics. Newspaper article. Find an article reporting news. News article, news story, newspaper, a daily or weekly publication on holds content articles and advertisements. This is the newspapers and these magazines article as primary sources. The purpose of magazine newspaper article to inform, educate, and entertain. That's the purpose of all media that employed trained journalists, particularly in the midst or context of COVID-19 pandemic. This part of an example of an article. The title of the World News COVID-19 Hardship Reveals True Friendship. This part of the title of article. The other one, this is the title of an article. response to the article of Diet's all entitled Recommendation for Prioritization Treatment and Treats Breast Cancer Patient during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, how do we find magazine articles? There are lots of different ways to access these materials. Here are suggestions. If you are looking for a specific article, use the Scout or Google Scholar to research for the article title in quotation marks works best. Use the in-journal search or Scout to research for the publication in which it appeared them search by the first title of article, the second author, name of article, and the last is the date of an article. Example of the magazine article title. This is the title of article, the recommendation for the prioritization treatment and stage breast cancer patient during the COVID-19 pandemic. The second author is the name of author, Peter Bensis, and the whiteboard, Rakesh Patel. This is the name of author. Published on May 26, 2020. Then, conclusion. To conclude all of this report on article, news, or magazines, it is one the most important research tools that can be an effective means on way to conduct research in the midst of or context of COVID-19 pandemic. This part of sources of research. That's all, and thank you.
All right, so thank you so much, Brother Robert. And for our third presentation, I will be reporting the television. So once again, I'm Ray Ferentino, Secon, the CICM, and I will be reporting the third tool, which is television. All right, so let us begin by defining what is a television. So television or the TV is electronic delivery of moving images and sounds from a source to a receiver. By extending the senses of vision and hearing beyond the limits of physical distance, television has had considerable influence on society. So basically, with this long definition of what is a television, television is a device that we use in order to gather information of the existing reality of the world through its features of running pictures and sounds. So the thing is, we gather information as viewers. So what are some examples of television show genres? We have the news. It is a broadcast that conveys news to the public. We have the documentary. Here in the Philippines, we have this Eyewitness or the GMA documentaries wherein they feature the realities of some sectors of the society, wherein the aim is to provide their aim is to provide realization of what is happening with the people of some Filipino people in some areas of the country. So the aim here is really to provide information to the public or to their viewers. So the question is, we all know that in this pandemic, everyone is constrained. Here in the Philippines, the government imposed lockdown and social distancing rules. Hence, typical qualitative research process is also constrained. The surveys, interviews, and other face-to-face data gathering procedures are limited. Hence, does this mean that we can no longer continue conducting research? The answer is no. We have various forms to continue gathering data so that we can proceed with our quest for the truth. And one is through the media or the television. The question, how can television be an effective tool for qualitative research and aiding the continuity of research even during this time of pandemic? First, television provides information, data gathering for data gathering purposes. Second, it provides a reality of a certain sector in a society that researchers can use to explore more. And the third is that from the information that the television provides, we can have a base for our research pursuit. So television provides information to the public, and so it provides information to our researchers. So to cite, let us begin by first using a journal or a research that actually used television in order for it to continue with aiding with its research. The first is the lesbian and gay parents on talk show, resistance or collusion heterosexism. So this is by Victoria Clark, Sarah Kinzinger. from the University of the West of England, University of York. So allow me to read through some of the abstract first to be able to understand. So in this paper, we explore popular television talk show debates about lesbian and gay parents. We show that the heterosexist framing of these debates compels lesbian and gay parents and their supporters to produce defensive and apologetic arguments that normalize lesbian and gay families. The question: the paper seeks to answer what is the role of talk show debates in the portrayal of the realities of gay and lesbian persons and parents. Does these talk show debates help the gay and lesbian couples and individuals? Does it provide a voice and an exposure for the lesbian and gay community? Or is it rather limited and framed into a heterosexist point of view? The question: how did television become a tool for this research topic? So television provided data for the realities of gay and lesbian couples and individuals that enabled the researchers of the study to come up with their topic. Through their observation of the existing heterosexist framing in the talk shows, they're able to come up with their research, as well as through the exposure of their subjects, the LGBTQ, in the talk shows, they're able to garner information about their realities. In a way, the television can be a means to gather information about a certain sector in a society. Through the featuring that the television provided, the researchers was able to explore more of the realities of the LGBTQ sector. So to cut it short, television provides information. So it gives knowledge to the viewers. So in doing research, even during in this time of pandemic, we can still continue gathering more information. And through this information, we can continue conducting research. Even though we're not able to go out, we're not able to go to the libraries, we still have the television for us to be able to gather information and continue with the pursuit of the truth and of knowledge. Thank you. And for our fourth presentation, we have Brother Dong for his autobiography as a tool for research.
Hello, everyone. As we have heard, our brothers reported their presentations regarding how to use the tools or doing research during this time of pandemic. I am Anthony Nguyen from the congregation of Scalabrini. Today, I'm presenting to you the another tool which is related to the doing research. It is all about autobiography. First, autobiography is a self-written life story. The life story of a person written by someone else. By reading autobiographies may be more interesting than biographies because you are reading the thought of the person instead of someone else's interpretation. Here are some examples about different types of autobiography: cultural, famous personality, literature. It could be about books. For example, the story of my life, Helen Keller. The question is that how can autobiography can be used as an effective tool to aid the continuity of research during this time of pandemic? I'm presenting you here are two main sources. Of course, there are many different ways to do a research at home, but there are two possibilities to do research by entering the whole title with the browser, and the second is to search to do a research through Google Advanced by title, by author, or whatever, so on and so forth. Here is an example that I did with the research with the title Collective Research in Autobiography as a Method of the Science of the Subject by Stefan Busch, Christian Esches, Rainer Dierks. What are the benefits that this title has offered? First, to have the researchers explore not only the human real depth, complexity, and richness, but the self-enlightening, broadening, acting, and explaining in social situations. Aside from those benefits, in this abstract is general idea about autobiography, but the main point of this abstracts is a research subject is dispensed with as a person concerned with him or herself to learn the theories and the methods and use them analytically for the personal situation. As you know that, like many other tools, doing research through autobiography is a way of learning or improving our self-knowledge. By doing research with autobiography, we can also imitate the examples of other people in order to learn from them and to apply it in our daily life. Here are several sources that I have done with my research. Thank you very much.
So, all right, up to our final presenter, we will now call on Brother Gomez for him to present our last tool, which is social media in data archive. Take it away, brother.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christoph Gomes, CICM. I am assigned to talk about social media and data archives. I entitle my terms social media, data archives, and COVID-19. As we know, people are limited to move because we have some restriction, like stay at home, quarantine, lockdown. Therefore, the question which come out in our mind is how to do research. Social media and data archives are some of the tools that can be used for research in this pandemic. Our first question is, what is social media? Social media refer to the means of interaction among people which they create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. Second, what is data archives? Archiving involves moving data that is no longer frequently accessed of primary systems for long-term retention. Making short, archive data is retained for long periods of time and best searched for when needed. Next, I'm going to share you some of the tools of these materials. First is Twitter. I think all know what is Twitter. And the second is UK Data Archives. The UK Data Archives has decades of experience in all aspects of data curation, digital preservation, data access, user support, and capacity building. In this part of research data management, it uses the social media like Twitter. Therefore, our question is, how can they be used for research? First, collect the data from the tweets, use keywords to identify relevant tweets, analysis, read the articles, seek in some number of language tools like capital letter, explicit language, symbols, hashtag, and emoticon. We try to apply these methods in our article entitled A Qualitative Analysis of Orthodontic Related Posts on Twitter by Rachel Enzel, Margaret Kinghag, Morgan Anton, and Farella. The objective of this article was to investigate the comment of orthodontic related tweet posts in order to improve our understanding of orthodontic patients' perception and treatment experience. And we can find that in this article, the materials and methods, the terms, also we can find different various language and also the key words. So how these tools can assist us in research during this pandemic. Archives with research and retrievals capabilities make it much easier to find and access data. It does need to be used. The social media such as Twitter can provide a means of crowdsourcing research activities by getting people to help with gathering information, making observation, under, under, undertaking data analysis, transcribing and editing documents. To conclude, we can say that faced with this coronavirus pandemic, doing research is always possible, not when we are on the move, but rather via social media and data archives while returning home. Thus, we can avoid the risk of contamination by reducing contact with others and stay safe. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. We have just heard some of the tools that can be very effective to aid us in doing research, even in this time of pandemic. Again, we wrap them up. We have the online survey, we have the television, we have the magazine and news journal, we have the autobiography, social media, and data archives. These are the only examples of some tools that we can use to still continue in the field of research. Even though we are only at home, nothing can stop a man who wants to pursue knowledge. So once again, this is group number 8, and this is our presentation. Thank you and good day.